Minister de la Guardia, you're trying to rehabilitate your country's reputation after the Panama Papers scandal. Tell me more.
Okay, first, when we took office back in 2014, we realized that the lack of compliance with international standards was the greatest threat to the Panamanian economy. And we started working way before the Panama Papers on making sure that Panama complies with the highest international standards in terms of fighting money laundering and fighting tax crime. And we worked very hard with the private sector to put in place a complete reform package, changing all the regulation, strengthening the institutions in charge of supervising the different regulated industries to make sure that the legal and financial services of Panama could not be used by organized crime.
What specifically are you doing now?
We are first changes that we have accomplished recently, or at least last year. We make sure that all Panamanian companies are subject to must carry accounting records. Those accounting records are available to the tax authority in Panama. Panama is fully collaborating with their international counterparts, in particular the international FIUs, to make sure that there is a fluid relationship between all countries, and we are exchanging information on a daily basis. And Panama is at the forefront of this fight against terrorism in Latin America. Panama is the only country in Latin America that is joining the coalitions against ISIS. We don't have an army, so we are fighting on the financial terms.
As a financial center, you want Panama to be considered the equal of what?
We want Panama.
And I'm thinking of the Caymans, Bermuda, Guernsey, what? Which
Singapore.
Singapore.
Yes. We believe Panama have a lot of similarities to Singapore, small country, located in a privileged geographical position where trade, air, and high financial connectivity. And we are looking at Singapore as a model for Panama.
Are you maintaining Panama's bank secrecy laws?
No. Actually, the authorities of Panama, they have access to the financial records of any citizen, either from Panama or from abroad. And Panama has joined the Multilateral Convention of Tax Matter, and we are exchanging information with many different countries now.
But do inquiries have to flow through the Panamanian Tax Authority, or can those institutions domiciled in Panama cooperate directly with foreign investigators?
No, the world standards is that they have to flow to a Panamanian tax authority or through the Attorney General in case of tax crime.
What about anonymous Panama corporations with nominee directors and no look-through to the actual owners?
Those are a thing of the past, actually.
So why is it, the reason I ask these questions is because there are still organizations, law firms in fact, that are promoting these features of the Panamanian financial system.
Well,
and you're telling me they don't exist any longer.
They don't exist any longer. Lawyers in Panama are subject to the same regulations that banks, so they must know who the owners of the corporations are, and that information must be available to the Panamanian authorities for review. And in the case of investigations, that information must flow from Panama to the country that requires the information.
How does an investor, or for that matter a corporation, gain confidence that Panama is everything that you say it is today, when it was, for example, a key financial center and conduit for payments in the Odebrecht bribery scandal?
Well, I think Panama has done what it takes. In the Odebrecht case, we reached an agreement with Odebrecht where they are going to pay a fine to Panama of $220 million for using the Panamanian, and they also use the U.S. financial system for payment. So we are sending a strong message that we will not allow the Panamanian system to be used by organized crime.
So if, again, after all of these steps that you're taking, Panama, the Panamanian tax, financial, legal system is as clean as what?
I think we comply with the highest international standards. It was recently recognized by the OECD, giving Panama a largely compliance rating on tax cooperation. Yesterday, for instance, we signed a tax automatic exchange of information agreement with Norway, and we're continuing to work with other countries on that subject.
Sounds to me then like the biggest challenge is perception.
Perception is difficult to change. That's why we're here. And we are constantly telling the world and world leaders what we're doing to make sure that Panama and the hardworking people of Panama is not punished for the work that have been done for a few Panamanians.
There's an investigation into the Trump Ocean Club, and in particular the developer Roger Kafif. What have you found?
Well, that transaction was structured a few years ago through a private placement here in the U.S. The company went under. It was taken over by the creditors, and I understand there are some lawsuits here in the U.S.
Nothing in Panama?
Nothing in Panama.